Hey guys, it's Jeff Trapp with the Jeff Trapp Podcast, and I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. It's the second episode of this new year, and it's already going by fast. There's already a lot going on out there. And today I want to talk to you about some compliance issues and some filing deadlines that are coming up that you need to be aware of. So if you own a business and you pay independent contractors or vendors to do things for your business and you want to get a tax deduction for those expenses, then you have to file a form called a 1099-NEC. And people commonly refer to these as 1099s. And these forms are due and need to be filed electronically by January 31st, 2024. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, Jeff, I'm not really sure how to file these returns electronically, reach out to your tax strategist, your accountant, CPA, tax preparer. They should be able to help you. You can also reach out to our firm if you have questions, or you can go into Google and say, I need to file a 1099, and there'll probably be 100 websites that pop up where you can file a 1099 NEC electronically for those vendors that you pay in your business. Typically, vendors that you pay in your business would be photographers, videographers, people that come to help you out on a part-time basis. And these are typically folks that are their entity type is anything but a corporation. So like not an S corporation, not a C corporation, and you pay them by cash or check, not via a credit card, then you would need to file a 1099 NEC. Also, if you paid an attorney any fees throughout the year, you are required to pay them a 1099 NEC. That filing deadline is January 31st, 2024, and there are some pretty steep penalties if you do not adhere to those compliance requirements and file those forms on time. Now, keep in mind, every state has different filing requirements when it comes to the Form 1099, and sometimes you have to withhold state taxes, things like that. So you need to make sure that you adhere to those filing requirements. And then what if you've hired a foreign assistant or VA, or you paid somebody cash in a foreign country and you want to take that tax deduction? Well, you're not necessarily required to file a 1099 NEC if they don't have a US tax filing requirement, but the IRS recommends that you file a form W-8BEN to certify they're not a US taxpayer. So that's super, super important if you're hiring foreign individuals. Now, if they work for a VA company, you're paying the VA company directly. Typically, you do not need to worry about those requirements. So that's one deadline that we have to be worried about. Now, we've got another deadline coming up in about 5 days here, and this is your 2023 fourth quarter estimated tax deadline. And, you know, you might be thinking to yourself, Jeff, I've never paid estimated taxes. I just pay my taxes in April when they're due, or maybe I'm on extension till October. I pay those in October. And if you're doing it that way, I can almost guarantee that you're paying some penalties and interest that you don't need to be paying. Um, and if you're going to pay estimated tax payments, there are some requirements to avoid the penalties and interest, right? There's a payment frequency, right? They're typically due on April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and the current year, January 15th. But since January 15th is a holiday, Martin Luther King Day, we get until the 16th this year to pay our fourth quarter estimated tax payment. Now, there are some rules. You either need to pay in 90% of the tax for the current year, or 100% of the tax shown on the previous year's tax return, or if your adjusted gross income is over $150,000, 110% of the tax at the prior year return. This will keep you out of the penalty situation. Now you might be saying, Jeff, I haven't made any payments. That's okay. Go ahead and still make a payment here in January to lessen that burden. Now you might have irregular income, and that's quite all right. You might be able to reduce or eliminate that penalty by annualizing your income throughout the year. Now, there's many different ways that you can make those payments. You can do those online, by phone, by mail, or through the direct pay electronic federal tax payment system. And, a lot of folks ask me, Jeff, I would rather just keep the money instead of giving it to the IRS and pay the penalty. But a lot of times when you go to pay those taxes, you don't have that money. Maybe you hit a tight spot in your business, or you need to pay for something that you weren't thinking about, or a life situation pops up. So you utilize your tax money for those situations. And then when the taxes due, you don't have time to pay that. And you end up getting on a payment plan with the IRS, and they send you harassing notices, and you end up paying a lot more in penalties and interest. So this is a great way to keep cash flow management in your business by paying this on a regular basis. It's a lot easier to pay in smaller amounts versus in much, much larger amounts at the end of the year. This also prevents tax bill surprises. If you're working with your strategist throughout the year, you're working with your fractional CFO or your accountant, or maybe they're all in one place like they would be at the tax planning pros, then we can work together to know exactly how much tax you're going to owe throughout the year. This helps you comply with tax laws and also helps out with financial planning. What moves do you need to make here before April 15th? Typically, you have to make your retirement contributions before the tax filing deadline. And, if the cash isn't there to pay your taxes, it's certainly not going to be there to pay those retirement contributions. So lots of important things coming up. Remember, January 31st, 2024 for that 1099 NEC filing deadline, and January 16th, 2024 for your fourth quarter 2023 estimated tax voucher. So if you think that a business owner would benefit from this, please go ahead and share that with them. Get the word out. We want to help as many business owners as possible keep more of their hard-earned money, because I don't think Uncle Sam spends their money better than they do. So we want to make sure that they're well informed. And also, if you're looking for some tax tips, you can hop into our free tax playbook, link below, and download those today. And I look forward to chatting with you again next week. Once again, I'm Jeff Trapp with the Jeff Trapp Podcast and the Tax Planning Pros. Have a great day.